Hello again. We're going to continue on the ROR analysis, and in this video we will be talking about conducting ROR analysis for more than one alternative. And if you have more than one alternative, what you do, you should have you should consider using the incremental analysis. The incremental ROR analysis is a financial technique that we use to select the best alternative by comparing two or more investment opportunities by finding the difference between the cost of the two or more investment. Okay, here's the steps that we need to do, and these maybe does not make sense to you at this time, but we're going to read it for now, and then we will go apply it on example, see how we could benefit from these steps. But these steps will summarize to you, and you will have to come back to it as a reference all the time whenever you do an incremental analysis. So number one is sort the alternative based on the initial cost. You look at all of these alternatives and you rank them from lower to higher. So we look into these alternatives and we rank them from lower to higher. And then we start with the two that has the least initial cost. And then we build cash flows for these two alternatives. And we should consider the least common multiplier technique. We cannot compare, an alternative with 4 years and another alternative with 6 years. Yes, we can, but we have to make these least common multiplier. We have to conduct the analysis for an equal lifetime. Subtract the cash flow of the higher initial cost alternative from the cash flow of the lower initial cost alternative, and then we use the IRR function to find out what would be the ROR. And then once we find the IRR, we compare it with the MARR, the minimum acceptable rate of return. If the IRR that we calculated is higher, then we select the alternative with the higher to be the survivor. However, if the IRR is smaller than the MARR, what happens is we select the alternative with the lower initial cost to be the survivor, and we eliminate the other alternative. And then we're moving to number 7. Step number 7, compare the survivor with the next lower initial cost, and then we repeat the steps from 3 to 6 to find the best alternative. Okay, so maybe these steps would not make any sense to you at this time until you apply it in an example. So what we're going to do, we're going to example 2, and for example 2, what we need to do is to apply the incremental analysis. So what is example 2? A fast food restaurant would like to expand its operations. Therefore, the owner is considered buying a new oven. There are two alternatives available in the market, oven A and oven B. Oven A initial cost $9,500, annual cost $700 for 6 years, and its salvage value $2,500. Oven B initial cost is $7,000, annual cost $900 for 6 years, and its salvage value after 6 years is $700. Conduct an incremental ROR analysis to find the best alternative that we should select if the MARR is 7%. All right, so I want you to take all this information, put them down on Excel, and start building the cash flow table as this here, the following. I'm going to share with you my Excel here in just a second. All right, so, okay, so I have the cash flow for oven A and oven B, and we recorded all the transactions. The nice thing is both alternatives will last for 6 years, so we don't have to do the least common multiplier because they are having the same equal life. And so 0 to 6, now 9,500 for initial cost, and every year we have an annual maintenance of 700. On year 6, we have to collect the 2,500 to the as a salvage value and subtract the 700 from it, and net would be 1,800. And then oven B would be 7,900 all the way from year 1 to year 5, and in year 9 we will collect the the salvage value of $700. And now we're going back to the steps. So I want you to go back to the steps and see how we could conduct the incremental analysis. We sort step number 2, sort the alternative. We have only 2 alternatives from low to high. And then number 2, select the 2 alternatives. Okay, now 3, build the cash flow. We did that. Number 4, subtract. Here we go. I want you to go to number 4, step number 4 in an incremental analysis. Subtract the cash flow of the higher initial cost from the cash flows of the lower initial cost. So what we have to do here is, okay, you go find out where is the higher cost. So the higher cost would be A, and B is the lower cost, the higher cost. So we subtract A minus B. So as you see, we created another column here, and we call it A minus B, cash flow for A minus B, which is subtracting the 9,500 minus the 7,000, 2,500, and then we select 2, and we find out what would be the difference between A minus B. And for example, 1,800 minus the 200, that would be 1,800 minus 200, that would be turned into positive 200, that where you see the 12,000. And now we use the IRR function to find out what would be the incremental analysis. And we find that 3.75 is the result of the incremental analysis. That result does not mean anything, does not say that you should select A or you should select B. However, this result, we have to compare it with the MARR, which is 7%. Now, which one is bigger? The 7% is bigger, therefore the IRR is less than the minimum acceptable rate of return. And based on the rules that we've learned is we select B as the survivor, and then we eliminate often A, we don't use it. And now some people, they would say, okay, I've learned different techniques. I want to do it using the net present value and see if that's going to give me a different result. I say, yeah, sure, you could do that. So put 7% here, and then select the NPV, all this. Let's go down here. All right. And then we add the year 0. We get the net present value of 11,000, negative 11,000. We're going to do the same thing for OV and B, and that would give you $10,000. As you see here, still OV and B would be the best option to select. So it is just another way to confirm your answer and to remove any doubt from your mind, saying, okay, well, how I know that I've selected the correct answer? You could use multiple techniques to verify the final result, the final decision that you should be making. All right, so the final decision here, we should select B as the survivor and eliminate OV and A from the options. Now we're going to take a look into another example which has more than 2 alternatives with a different lifetime. So I'll record that in a different video.